Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And today we're almost at the end of October, in fact, a couple more days, and we're into November. And I just want to thank all of you for your kindness and generosity and support of me and of this channel during this month of October. This was a very exciting month for me for a lot of reasons, one of which is that this was the first time that I endeavored to try to upload a video a day talking about Halloween or Halloween-related film, horror film, or suspense drama or TV series or something like that. So I'd never done that before, to be perfectly honest. So it was a new type of project for me and a new approach. And because I'd never done that before, to be perfectly frank, I was not confident at all that I would be able to finish the project. But now we are at the very end of October. As I say, as of now, 2 more days left. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was pretty much consistent. I was able to upload a video a day. And I was very, maybe my comments weren't so deep. Maybe they weren't so, not maybe, I know they weren't so deep or weren't very significant in the long sweep of cinema discussion and discourse. I know that. But as a personal project or personal goal, it was very exciting for me. So I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share with you just some thoughts that I have about these films or TV series. I should also point out something that I mentioned in another video, which is that this isn't meant to be my top 31 all-time favorite horror films or anything like that. It's not meant to be a ranked list, because it's not. This is pretty much a list that I more or less created as I went along, and it was more or less fashioned based on my mood, my approach, my feelings in a particular day or a particular sequence of days. So just to give a little bit of an explanation as to how I ended up making the choices that I did, I should let you know that I've always been a big fan of these films and of horror films and of the suspense genre in general. And so I've always wanted to talk about these films, but I just never had the opportunity. And so this afforded me such a great opportunity to talk a little bit about these films that I had never spoken about before. Even if it was very generalized in terms of my discussion, still it was better than nothing. So I was so grateful to you for affording me such opportunity. And so this is also to say that there are so many of these films that I really love, but it's just, how can I talk about all of them on this YouTube channel? It's not possible for me. But I did have a lot of these feelings for a lot of these films. It was just a matter of which one I could talk about in a given day, which one I was in the mood to talk about. So that was essentially my approach. Let's say I had maybe a number of films already that I felt like I saw enough to be able to talk a little bit about. And so I had already a number of films like that, over 30 or maybe more, and it was just a matter of picking those from that list that I had in my head, I suppose, and then just picking from there films that I thought were films that I wanted to talk about in a given day. So that's essentially how I approached it. So it wasn't like I sat down and wrote out a list beforehand, and it wasn't like I wanted to provide a ranked list giving my top 10 favorite horror films, because that's not what this is. It was just something that it was from a stock or well of films that I really loved. And so but that implies, of course, that for every film that I picked out, there were, of course, many others that I didn't talk about. And so that makes me realize that 31 days is not enough days to talk about films, because we need more than 31. We need a lot more. So, because there were many films that I didn't talk about, that I really wanted to talk about, but I just didn't, because it was, I don't know, just my mood or my feeling. I just wanted to talk about something else at the time. So that's one of the things too about YouTube and doing these videos. It's one of these things where if I talk about a film, that doesn't necessarily mean that I dislike every film that I don't talk about. It's just, it's the nature of the economy of time, really, because time is a finite thing. And so I can only talk about so many things in a given period and space of time, unfortunately. I wish I could talk about more, but just given that aspect, if you will, and the idea of 31 days, I just chose the films that I chose. But maybe in a different time and place and attitude, I might have chosen differently, and which makes me very curious as to what films I would choose in a different month. And so I'm actually thinking maybe this is something I should try to continue on for November and December. I haven't quite decided yet, but maybe even in a limited capacity, maybe not every day, but maybe every other day or something like that. I haven't quite decided yet, but I'll try to think of something if you are interested. If you're not interested, then no worries at all, my friends. But if you are interested, please check back to this channel, and I'll see what I can come up with. I can't promise anything, but I'll see what I can come up with, again, if you're interested. And thank you once again from the bottom of my heart to all of you who have expressed an interest in what it is I have to say about a particular work or something. I'm not anyone important. So I'm not a scholar or anything like that. So what I have to say is absolutely, I think, worthless in the grand scheme of things. And so, with that, I'm always very flattered and quite moved, very moved, in fact, that you, my dear friends, would be so kind enough to express to me your interest in what it is I have to say and think about a particular film. And so I'm really quite flattered. So thank you very much for that, providing me that opportunity. Really, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means so much. And so with that, as I say, October is almost finished. There are 2 more October videos to go. I think I know what I'm going to talk about, although I might change my mind at the last minute. So just you have to wait until the video is actually uploaded. And then for November and beyond, I haven't decided yet. Maybe I'll do something, maybe I won't. But I will try to think of something, and we will go from there. But in the meantime, my friends, in the meantime, whether it's October films or just films in general, please keep on enjoying yourselves. Please keep on watching a lot of great movies. There are so many great films out there, and they are, of course, things that are defined by your own subjective experience and viewpoints. And so that's what makes it so exciting for me. It's the films, and also hearing your takes on the films. Because that way, that's another way for me to get to know a little bit more about you and what it is you think and feel, and what it is your experiences are. And so that's one of the great joys and values, I think, of cinema, is that it's in and of itself a great artistic endeavor, but also it's a conduit by which I think I can learn more about you. And what it is you have to say and think. So, my dear friends, keep on watching a lot of great movies, and just enjoy and have fun, and be well. Be well, my friends. So, thank you so much, and I will see you all very soon. So, until then, my friends, thank you and cheers.